YouTube faithful, no, your eyes do not deceive you. It is Flex Friday, baby, and we're here to discuss MLB and WNBA. I'm going to give a couple plays for both, try to keep it short and sweet. I know, I didn't have a video yesterday. Listen, I was going to, and then I just ran out of time. By the time MLB started with the staggered slate, everything I wanted to do, I had to focus on my live stream, had to focus on my own lineups, and my oh my, am I glad I did, because it was an absolute banger of a day. But the day before, when we went on YouTube, when I told you about Stephanie Dolson, my play of the day, how about it, boys? First half sweat-free, full game sweat-free, second half sweat-free, 19 of 20, she smashed. Hopefully you made coin. If you did make coin on Stephanie Dolson in that video, which pretty much everything swept WNBA that day and MLB, leave a like, leave a comment, and go ahead and subscribe either way. So what can we talk about today? Well, first I'm going to go into MLB, and right out of the gate, you got to make a decision at 11:40. This is the early game. Now, Colin Rea can get 5 strikeouts any day of the week, twice on Sunday. The matchup is mint. Here's my reservation, and yes, I have exposure to this. First, his line is usually at 4. Okay, that's the first fly in the ointment. Number 2, it's an 11:40 game, so you know that there's going to be an added layer of variance in there. But I do think you should have some shares of this. I wouldn't go crazy, but maybe a few 1 to 2 lineups max. That's all I'm going to say about that from that side. Also, my boy Contreras, like the Contras, I got him at 7.5 fantasies, now at 8. He has been going yarn the past 2 days. If you want to go back to him, you absolutely could. He is due slight regression, but that's pretty much all I would cover from that game, and I would fade the rest. That's pretty much it for that game. So let's move on to the next games. Next would be the Gas Man, Kevin Gassman. They bumped him up from 5.5 to 6. He was borderline going to be the play of the day, right? Borderline going to be the play of the day at 5.5, but I just couldn't make it the play of the day because I don't want people to riot. However, I did take him over 5.5. Now he's at 6. You have to make the decision. If you can find him at 5.5 anywhere, I think it's totally fine. Both of my models love it. That's going to be up for you to decide. Now, what am I doing here? I'm giving you a brief overview before I give you what I'm actually going to take. Blake Snell, 8 strikeouts. Do I think he's in a bounce back spot? Absolutely, he's in a bounce back spot. Now, can he get 8K? Sure. What do I like though? 6.5 strikeouts. I also like his 1.5 walks allowed. Absolutely. He's been an absolute wagon for the walks. My model projects him for 2.5. 1.5 walks is absolutely within the range of outcomes for him. It's totally fine. Also, his 17.5 pitching outs is absolutely in play. He had a bad start last game against Seattle. The best matchup. Everything was great for him to go off, and he stunk it up. He's due a bounce back. Is he going to bounce back? Well, your guess is as good as mine, folks, but I will take my chances on it, and if he sells, he sells. Also, his earned run demon is 1.5. Now, this is going to be tricky. I don't see him giving up a lot of runs, but because they're going to pay you a demon payout, which is going to be an enhanced payout for 1.5, I absolutely think you could take a chance on it. So this is how I would play this situation. You take his pitching outs, you take his walks allowed, or his Ks. Any one of those 3 is fine. All of that is fine. I'll have exposure to all of it. Then, in a separate lineup, if you wanted to hedge him having a disaster class, you would throw in 1.5 earned runs demon with whatever your anchor is. This is how you would do it. So, that is what I got to say about Snell. I'm not going to go into all the I've already looked at all the analytical stuff. I'm not going to bore you with it. You're just going to have to take my word for it. If I'm talking about it on this channel, I've looked into it, okay? I'm just trying to conserve and condense and make it easier for you to consume. In short, I'm doing the Lord's work. Now, the second decision you're going to have to make today is for old Framber Valdez, baby. The man's been on an absolute heater when it comes to Ks. Baltimore lined up 8 of them, sat him down. White Sox, 9 of them, sat him down. Tampa Bay, 9 of them, sat him down. Even the Rangers, he screeched off 5. In Pittsburgh, he got 10. Now, this matchup is nothing to shake a stick at. 2024, they're ranked 2nd overall in strikeouts and 4th, meaning they're not striking out a lot over the last 30 days, and overall, they're only 2nd in strikeouts allowed. However, Framber is throwing straight up heat lately. If you look at his last 20, he's gone over 6.5 in 9 of his last 20. However, the line is 6. and I'm not even taking that anyways. The line that I do like for Framber is right here at 4.5. The matchup is absolutely terrible for him. I will concede that. However, the line is low because of it. So as you can see, you're going to have to make a decision. I'm not taking him over 6. I'm not. If you want to, you could, because the line is 6.5 on other sites. What I'm going to do is take exposure to his Gabi at 4.5. Okay, there it is right there. 4.5 for Framber. I think he's going to get 5.5 on average. So this is what I landed on. If you want to take it, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. Also, his earned run demon at 2.5 is interesting. You know who he's playing. The Royals, they have some heavy hitters. You could look there if you want to, but again, it's not optimal. What is optimal is 4.5 Ks as a goblin. It'll get you 2x in most if you pair with any other normal stat or prop, whatever you want to call it, fam. And then the next two that I want to discuss, Jonathan Cannon for the Chicago White Sox, more 5.5 hits allowed. The Mets have some great hitters. They absolutely have a lineup that can go yarn at any time. Now, asking for 5.5 hits is a lot. I get that. The line is high for this reason. It might even move up to 6. But if we go over here to DG Fantasy, you can see he's minus 123 to go over on Pinnacle, minus 130 on DraftKings, minus 125 on MGM. I don't know. This line was heavily juiced over earlier, but now it's starting to come down. This happens whenever you're making MLB plays early. This is going to happen, which is why I always tell people to limit your exposure until around crunch time, which today most of the games go off at 5:40, which means crunch time would be at 4:40. That is when you can get all the closing lines and you can make it. Yes, you will miss some value, but in the end, it's better than locking something in super early only to get burned because the books changed their mind. Okay, same thing with Tyler McGill. Under 5.5 Ks, over 4.5 hits allowed. Either of these are fine. Personally, I went with over 4.5 hits allowed. I do think under 5.5 Ks at minus 158 is absolutely crispy, but you have to factor in that matchup, which the line has the matchup baked in, which is the Chicago White Sox. Okay, they are going to get struck out a lot, but I still do think there is value here at less 5.5. You do see that Pinnacle has it at minus 158. I mean, that's just too big to ignore. Whenever you're in doubt, if you're in my Discord, check the model projections and you can compare it to that. That is what I did. I have both of those guys pretty much right where they should be. I haven't released projections yet because it's too early, but I will be doing it. George Kirby for the Mariners is in an elite spot, but his line at 6 kind of is a little bit too high for me. I would probably take his Goblin if I was going to take anything. Matt Chapman, 7 fantasy, always in play. Lawrence Butler, over 7, always in play. They have Shota, less 5.5 Ks. It's pretty much minus 140 to minus 135 across the industry. I think that's absolutely fine. So you could take Shota and Tyler in the same lineup and have a 5.5 sweat on both, and that will be a sweat, make no mistake about it. Okay, but you can see you're getting the value here. So again, you would compare it to the model and then you would go from there. Now I want to talk about hitters. Okay, most of my exposure today is going to be with the WNBA most likely, but every time the Dodgers are on the slate, we got to play a thing I like to call Dodger roulette, and today's no different. We got Mookie over here at 7.5 fantasy score. This is going to get bumped up, I'm almost certain of it. Ever since he came back, he's been an absolute wagon. There's no reason to get off this train right now. If he's been cashing you, you can let it ride until the wheels fall off. Same thing with Duran. He finally let the wheels fall off, but I don't mind. I will go right back to him. But Mookie Betts, 7.5 hitter fantasy, or if they put up 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, will be my favorite play today, as well as the other Dodger, Ohtani, who just went 0 for 5 yesterday, or 0 for 4, whatever it was. He's absolutely in play today. He should bounce back. He's always going to be in the mix. He had a complete nothing burger, 0. So I will go right back. His fantasy score at 9, absolutely fine. 1.5 bases. And when they do put up 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs as a Goblin, I'll have exposure to that too. These are my favorite Dodgers. Freddie Freeman, I don't know if he's coming back tonight or not. He still might be out. He still might be in. He's someone else you could look at. Like I always say, folks, it's Dodger roulette. Mookie's the priority. Ohtani's the priority bounce back. And then you could go from there. I will cover those questions in the live stream where I talk about the hitters, but Mookie is my priority hitter today. I anticipate that fantasy score line moving up to 8.5. Now you may be saying, Cap, where's all your energy, folks? Well, I'm absolutely out of energy right now. It is early for me. I'm still tired. I had no sleep, but it is what it is. Now, as far as the wagons, Corey Seager at 1.5 versus JP Sears. Of course you could put him in. I'm not going to tell you not to put him in. Look, he's went yarn, but he is due regression, obviously. Where I'm going to go, instead of taking all the Rangers chalk, which everyone's on, Francisco Lindor. In the matchup, the Rangers just went yarn, and Lindor has been a wagon. They don't have his 1.5 up yet, but 8 fantasy seems fine to me for now. I'll have exposure to that, absolutely. Yesterday, I had Olsen, as well as a lot of people, and he went yarn twice. The Cubs hitters, you could take a shot on them. My favorite Cub hitter today would probably be Happ, but I'm not going to have a ton of exposure to them today. And then you have the Colorado Rockies game versus Baltimore, and this game has potential to go absolutely haywire, okay? Gunnar Henderson is so due, it's not even funny, okay? I had him yesterday. Everyone had him yesterday. He chalked. Look at all their lines today. More, 2.5, more. That signals, other than the fact that they're already in Colorado, but this signals that something is going to happen here. It's a high implied team point total for both sides. You can target any one of those big three. I will give you the projections in the live stream, as well as the Rockies hitters, which aren't even up yet. Once they put them up, you're going to have to look at Tovar, Toglia, Blackman, Doyle. All those guys are going to be in play. Another thing to look at when you're trying to determine what hitters and matchups to target, look at the starting pitcher's earned run prop. His is at 3.5 already. Not a demon, not a guy. 3.5 out of the gate. So you know they're anticipating runs to be scored, okay? So think about that stuff. Same thing with Colin Ray at 3.5. Granted, it's a demon. It still tells you those Cincinnati Reds hitters could be in play, and you can go down the line and see what's going on here. JP Sears, 2.5 earned runs as a goblin. That could give you leeway to target Seager, Garcia, and so forth. Okay, but remember, we were also talking about Kirby. His line is 6, his goblin's 5.5, which I don't like when they do this, so he still needs 6, which kind of eliminates his goblin equity for me. His pitching outs could be in the mix at 17.5. I personally won't go there. If I'm going to take anything Kirby, it would just be this, but I don't really love it. Even though it is a good matchup and he's due, I just don't love it. And then on the other side of that coin, he's not even up yet. The Angels pitcher, he would be in play possibly. So guys, I know I'm going through this quick and I know it's Flex Friday. My goal is to give you an overview of things to look for, and then I fine tune it all on the live stream at 4:45 Central. That is how I do things. And I'm going to talk about WNBA, but before I do that, let me do a victory lap for the people. Now yesterday, Captain Crush hit yarn. I had the discount. I'm mad I didn't max it out. Bobby Miller, Bowden, Cade. What do you see? 3 demons. Bang, bang, bang. All 3 of these guys were talked about in the live stream. They're on my daily prop list. I put them all together in a 4-man power. It paid out for me. I also took these 3 in a 3-man. Again, I didn't max this combo or the discount. I wish I did. I have a $100 max. If I would have done that, it would have paid $750. That's my mistake. I'm supposed to max out all discounts. I just didn't. I didn't want to max out a discount at $275. Lesson learned. But I ain't complaining. That's a $1,300 day. Do the math. 75 plus 1275. It's actually $1,350. And I had a bunch of other lineups that I cashed as well. Old Locks over here had himself a chance to go yarn. Bregman got rebooted because he got ejected. He was on my list. Olsen, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, cash. Mookie, demon, cash. Otani didn't go yarn. You hate to see it. Even though it was a small win, it's better than a loss. He had a chance to go yarn. Mark's World had a big day. True King of Chalk had a big day. Green Bar had a big day. Cash the Nuke, he said. He tailed Stephen A. Smith. Can you believe it? My goodness. What are you guys doing? We gotta talk about that, chat. We got to talk about that. Lucky Tuna. This is who I wanted to find. She took that Bowden play, put it in with Jones, the discount. Good for you, Tuna. Cash in the college football street. She did game stacks, and it worked out for her. You love to see it. D. Ward. 1 cash, 1 chalk. We all got hooked by Bowden's K's, but he took the demon, and even though he chalked 1, he made 187 there. He lost 30 here, so he profited 150. He set himself up for a chance to go yarn. Joe Rutley. Look at this. Schwarber, Sanders, Bowden, Seth Brown, Rooker, Hunter. Congratulations. Good slip. Yeti ho, man. Whatever that is, he went yarn. Half Pint took the Bowden Francis, but I'm burying the lead. There's one thing that I'm trying to point out here. Let me go find it. Okay, yesterday, this was my daily prop list. I had 2 full lists. I scrapped it. That one hit, Ask Mark's World, but this was the final list I gave. Bobby Miller, 2.5 earned run demon, cash. Cade Povich, more 5.5 hits allowed demon, cash. ER Goblin, cash. Bowden Francis, 15.5 pitching outs. Gut call completely. His K's over 2, but my model had his K's under, but I put on the list his demon outs, not his K's. Sanchez, more 1.5 goblin, cash. Singer, 2.5 earned run goblin. He hooked. It is what it is. Gunner chalked. Freeman DNP. Will Smith and Muncy DNPs. Duran chalked. Vlad demon, cash. Bregman reboot. That is an absolute masterclass any way you slice it, okay? That's how the daily prop lists are in the Discord. Always check them out. Always take from there. And then always check the captain slip tab. And then this was from the YouTube video the other day. This was Thursday's big WNBA 4-man power. Dolson, Carrington, Reese, Jackson. Sweat free. Cash it all. This should have been a 10K nuke from me. I refunded it, put 15 instead, and absolutely left $9,985 on the table. But you can see, posted it with a link. No excuses if you're in the cord. And here it is right here. You can see the people tailed. I didn't do a video yesterday, so I didn't get to show it, but it's right there. Cash. The second half lineup I posted. Cash that. The underdog slip that I gave out. Cash that too. Guys, I don't always show the wins or losses, whatever, not even my own slips, but folks, that doesn't mean I'm not winning, okay? I am. Not every day, but the content and quality is top tier in this Discord. And I do a live stream 5 days a week at 4:45 Central, unless I have a life emergency or something else. Now, I also post daily projections for every player on the MLB slate, just like this. Strikeouts, walks, hits allowed, earned runs, inning pitched, and total pitches. I do this for NFL too, color-coded for NFL, absolutely. So I tell you all this because I have two things. One, go to CaptainCrush.net, slide your paw down to the gold package. Silver is just the playlist. Gold is the Discord, live streams, the slips, all of it. I have a special discount for you right now, 1 month, because it is Labor Day and because I had a massive day yesterday. Promo code LABOR, you degens. You'll get 40% off, $14.99 for new users. There you go, okay? So if you're on the fence, oh, I don't know if I want to join. Bro, $15. I literally spent $15 buying a pack of pretzels and a Coke at Walmart the other day. I'm giving you the content you need to help you with your process. I promise you, it's not just a sales pitch. I am not fleecing you. I'm literally giving you all the value you need to succeed. You're getting 30 days of content. I promise you it's worth it. #1 retention rate on Dub Club for a reason. So, CaptainCrush.net, it's linked to my Dub Club. Get in the mix. Promo code LABOR. Now let's talk about the WNBA, everyone's favorite. I'm being facetious, obviously, but let's talk about it. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. What are we going to do, fam? Well, I got two schools of thoughts here. I think Reese could get all the rebounds today at 14.5, but I don't really know if I'm going to be interested in it. First things first, let's check out D-Jizzle, which you can also get a 25% off your first month at DG with code CRUSH. I'm doing God's work there too. Nalissa Smith, under 10.5 points. Jackie Young, over 4 rebounds. Courtney Williams, over 10.5. And Nafisa Collier, over 12.5. All of this is going to be bumped, y'all. Collier's assists, Jackie Young's rebounds, Courtney Williams, Nalissa Smith. So if you want to get this in, get it in now. What I'm looking for is things that I can find that look crispy. Kelsey Mitchell, 19.5. She's been on an absolute tear. A tear. Sabrina Ionescu, over 18.5 points. You want to talk about somebody that's due. 18, 13, 12, 23, 18. I'll have some exposure to this. Likely, I'll probably take her field goal attempts when that's on the board. It's not up there yet, but that's why the live stream's going to be clutch. But I got to concede. It's the most popular play on the board, baby. But Kelsey Mitchell, 19.5 points in this matchup. I'm going to eat the chalk, baby. I'm ready to be punished once again. It's Castillo 2.0, 19.5 points. I'm getting good odds. I'm going to take it. If she sells, she sells. I'm riding this train until I'm forced off. You cannot, you will not stop me. And what am I going to pair it with? Well, there's one girl that screams bounce back, y'all, and it's Nafisa Collier. She's playing Dallas. There couldn't be a better spot to bounce back. I'm locking it in with the 3.5 assists, and I got a wombo combo right there. Bizang! And once they put Howard's field goal attempts up, I'm going to put that in too. And then if Jackie Young tickles your fancy, you can go right over there. Now remember, it is early. They don't have the field goal attempts up and everything else that I like, but I definitely definitely am having exposure to these three in this order. So if you want to tail, if you want to fade, it's up to you, comment guy. Do what you're going to do. And if you want to throw in Enrique, you've been riding that wagon. You say, hey, yo, Enrique, you're the wagon. Get in the mix. You could go right ahead. I wouldn't begrudge you a bit. Personally, I'm probably going to get off that train. I think today's the day that train pulls into the station and has a seat. Now, I'm burying the lead. Clark versus Reese. You're going to have to decide if you think that narrative's going to hold water. You could take Clark's fantasy when they put it up, her PRA, whatever, or Reese, the same thing. I tend to think Reese's PRA because of the narrative is in play, but hey, I could be wrong. This would probably be my favorite four. You guys do what you want to do, and then as always, Courtney Williams, RA, where is it? At 10.5, it's 100% in the mix. So this would be the ranking. This would be my ranking. Kelsey, Collier, Young, Reese, and Williams, okay? Favorite two, Mitchell and Collier. And that is that. Now, you may be saying, Cap, you look like a greaseball tomato. What's going on? Folks, I was in the sun all day yesterday golfing early. I got a little sunburn. I'm Irish and Italian, so I don't tan until like 2 days after I get red, even with sunscreen. Kevin Crush putting SPF 50 on, but hey, it's hot out here in the Midwest. And guess what? I'm going golf again today. There's going to be 10 of us D-Gens out there. $25 buy-in ahead, $250 up for grabs, and Captain Crush has got his name on it. Let me tell you, over under 95 strokes for Captain Crush. The under is soaring. I promise you I'm coming back with the bag. So, I appreciate you tuning in. If you're new around here, you don't know who the captain is. Now you know. I got short videos on TikTok. Follow there. The Discord will give you the live stream projections, the plays, all of it. I do wish you the best, y'all. Good luck in all your contests. Here's the salute. And as always, my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's crush.